Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to our program coordinated by your host George Abang on George Abang's News. Our most recent was based on Dyspraxia. If you had subscribed, the better. But if not, then do so to get the facts, and it also helps us to carry on without any hitch and permits continuity. God bless you. Today we shall center our discussions on dyspraxia, which is another learning disability affecting both children and adults. We shall give you the gist just as the program unveils and unfolds itself. Dyspraxia, as scientists reveal, is a situation where a person has problems with movement, coordination, judgment, processing, memory, and some other cognitive skills. It also affects the body's immune and nervous systems. This is why dyspraxia is termed a motor learning difficulty, perceptual motor dysfunction, and developmental coordination disorder, abbreviated DCD. Those having this disorder have difficulties in planning and completing fine and gross motor tasks. It's also a neurological disorder that impacts an individual's ability to plan and process motor tasks. This affects and disables their language and skills, hampering thoughts and perception. Though it doesn't affect the person's intelligence. Developmental dyspraxia is an immaturity of the organization of movement. This means the brain does not process information in a way that allows for a full transmission of neural messages. The National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, abbreviated NINDS, describes people with dyspraxia as being out of sync with their environment. Experts reveal that about 10% of people have some degree of dyspraxia. 4 out of every 5 children are boys. The symptoms are 1. Poor balance. 2. Poor posture. 3. Fatigue. 4. Clumsiness. 5. Differences in speech. 6. Perception problems. And 7. Poor hand-eye coordination. To diagnose this learning disability, a clinical psychologist, an educational psychologist or pediatrician, or an occupational therapist should be contacted. Any parent who also suspects his or her child having dyspraxia should see their doctor. During this process, the evaluator will need to know when and how developmental milestones such as walking and crawling and speaking were reached. Dyspraxia symptoms vary depending on age. Not every individual will have all of the symptoms outlined. For instance, during very early childhood, the child may take longer than other children to 1. Sit. 2. Crawl. 3. Walk. 4. Speak. 5. Stand. 6. Get out of diapers. And 7. Build up vocabulary. The following are also common at preschool age. 1. Find it hard to keep friends. 2. Abnormal behavior in keeping company. 3. Hesitates in most actions. 4. Does not hold a pencil with a good grip. In adults, symptoms include 1. Poor posture and fatigue. 2. Trouble completing chores. 3. Writing and drawing are difficult. 4. Difficulty coordinating both sides of the body. 5. Unclear speech. 6. Clumsy movement and tendency to drip. Clumsy movement and tendency to trip over. 6. Grooming and dressing more challenging, especially shaving, applying makeup, tying shoelaces. 8. Easily frustrated, and so on. We shall be continuing with this topic in our next slot. I have been your host, George Abang. I hope you did enjoy it as we sign off. It should be yours on a few days from now. So stay tuned and subscribe.